Hello, I am Zinfogel. Today we're covering Giovanni's Extreme Battle on the Take On Battles with Trainers from Different Regions event. This stage is one of the earlier Extreme Battles DNA released, so Giovanni doesn't have a whole ton of health, but if you ignore his multipliers, he is going to wipe you. First of all, Giovanni casts Sandstorm upon entry, which activates his Surging Sand 7 multiplier, and the Tyranitar is also going to attempt to manually cast Sandstorm right before Giovanni's Sync move in order to activate Sand Blaster 5. One of the easiest ways of neutering Giovanni's damage is by changing the weather. Giovanni also raises a ton of stats upon entry in a bid to boost good form and a Rising Tide. And right after his first Sync move, he's also going to use an incredibly aggressive trainer move that basically maximizes all his stats. Furthermore, Giovanni's teammates specialize in debuffing. They can drop any stat at random and very fast. Defense and accuracy debuffs are particularly problematic. Now, managing all three of these demands can be difficult, so if you have to prioritize something during team building, I think weather is the call. Removing Sandstorm has the most discernible impact when controlling Giovanni's damage. When team building, your first consideration should be bringing a physical striker. If you pay close attention, when the battle starts, you will notice that Giovanni and his teammates have a passive called Wise Entry x2 pop up, and that halves the damage they receive from special attacks. You can still brute force a fight with special strikers, but physical strikers generally outperform special strikers. This stage largely focuses on physical damage, so you should bring tanks who can raise the party's defense, and who are also preferably immune to defense and special defense debuffs in case the Simons decide to proc some. Lastly, Sync pairs who can debuff attack are really handy, because they can neutralize Giovanni's initial attack raises. This stage has a regional boost for Sinnoh this time around, so I am going to give you a rundown of pairs who have a good matchup here. Adaman is perfect for this fight. If I didn't know any better, I would say he was made for this stage. He deals super effective damage, he raises defense, he summons Sun upon entry and when he sinks. He's amazing. The next best bet is Dawn and Torterra. She doesn't look the part, but she's a respectable DPS asset if you help her out with some offensive buffs. And you can also capitalize from her support kit. She raises the party's defense, she can restore her health, and she lowers enemy attack when she receives damage. OG Cynthia can take advantage of Giovanni's Sandstorm. Gardenia has to muscle through Wise Entry x2, but she can leverage her super effective damage to mitigate that. Both Candy's iterations can override Sandstorm with Hail, but I would favor Candy's and Abomasnow because she has a strong physical nuke to complement your offense with. Rourke is also unironically better than Looker with his grid. With some crit support, you can combo him with Candice to handle Giovanni. Other strikers to consider are Palmer, Ray, Akari, and Lush Irida. As for pairs who handle the stage's gimmicks, I would recommend Meilin. With her grid, she can raise accuracy and speed, which really helps with consistency. Aaron and Argenta are better Meilin, basically, with a more robust defensive profile, although Aaron needs his 3-5 grid in order to buff accuracy. Sinnoh Dawn and Aura Cynthia are monster tanks who can carry weaker teammates. Irida works just like Candice because when she casts Ice Wish, she also summons Hail to nerf Giovanni's output, although she has to deal with Wise Entry x2. New Year's Dawn has some interesting utilities. She lowers attack really fast, and her trainer move also blocks stat drops, so you don't have to worry about the Simons at all with that. Now, Giovanni doesn't use very many spread moves before sinking, so this is a reasonably safe battle for off-region pairs. If your Sinnoh roster is a little lacking, it could be the way to go. Sinnoh Morty has a Sunny Day to override a Sandstorm with plenty of recovery to help the party with, Sync Damage Guard also allows him to survive Giovanni's Sync move. Signature Acerola likewise packs Sunny Day, and she's a really good complement for Dawn archetypes thanks to her offensive support as well as Grassy Terrain. Champion Leaf debuffs a lot of stats at once to crowd control Giovanni's stat raises. She can help the party with Potion and her Physical Master passive, and she casts Sun the first time she uses Flare Blitz. Sinnoh Misty was quite literally made for this encounter, so she has some useful utility. Haze removes stat raises, and Mist blocks stat drops. Sinnoh Erika can enable some Gardenia Sun strategies. I would prefer bringing her over Blaine at least. And lastly, Summerhilda has some counterplay here. She raises the party's defense and special defense, she can reverse Giovanni's stat raises with Topsy Turvy, and she can also tank Giovanni's Sync move thanks to Protect. Alright, for this first example we are going with a somewhat accessible team of OG Dawn, Meilin, and OG Candice. The star of the show is Dawn. Her support kit has a really good matchup into this stage, and she can deal some strong super effective damage with Seed Bomb, which is where Meilin comes into play. Meilin buffs attack and crit, which enables Dawn to act as a DPS asset. And lastly, Candice is here to complement Dawn's offense with her strong Sync Nuke, and her plus is that her kit is centered around Hail, so we can use that to override Giovanni's Sandstorm and make his attacks easier to tank. As for specifics, I am running a Gridless Dawn. Her base kit works fine for this, and she doesn't need a lock skill either, because she has Vigilance as an innate passive, but if you want to give her something useful, Critical Strike 2 or Unbending are helpful. Meilin also technically can get away without a grid, but I went for Precision Pulse 1 and Pep Rally 1 to buff the party's speed and accuracy, which really helps with the party's overall consistency. Candice, however, kinda needs the grid to be useful. She wants Inertia to boost the power of her Sync move, and she also wants Hail Follow-Through of 9 to add the Sure Crit property, and that guarantees her nuke will deal heavy damage onto Giovanni. But if your Dawn is at 3-5, she nukes about as well, if not better than Candice, because she has innate Haymaker, and she can grid pecking order. So thanks to the super effective damage, she can nuke in Candice's stead. Note that my Candice is very heavily invested. I am a Candice enthusiast. She's got the 6-star EX as well as a good luck skill, but if your Candice is at 3 stars or 4 stars, she will work fine. This strat has some wiggle room, so you can just have Dawn attack center more often to compensate for Candice's damage. Okay, let's check out the run example.
You're in for a world of pain.
First thing you want to do is buff up the party. Always queue 3 actions every turn. But you will notice I am not using Hail right away. I am tanking Giovanni's first action under Sandstorm. And the reason is that if you use a Hail turn 1 to get rid of Sand, then you are going to waste its duration to the point that Hail will wear off before your Sync move is ready, and that is catastrophic for Candice because her innate Sync multiplier is Heavy Hail. She needs Hail active to boost her Sync damage. So by using Hail turn 2, you guarantee you get your Sync move under Hail. Now that Meilin is done buffing Dawn's offensive stats, I have done chip down the Kabutops with Seed Bomb because I want to set up a Denial for later. A Denial is cancelling an opponent's action by knocking them out, and this is predictable because Extreme Battles follow set turn orders. Here, Tyranitar's second action is coming up, which is always going to be Sandstorm, and you want Candice up and ready to go to shoot that down with Hail. That will prevent Giovanni from being able to use his Sandblaster 5 multiplier. From this point, your run is probably going to differ from mine, because my Candice is so heavily invested that I know she will knock out the golem on her Sing move. But if yours doesn't, it's okay. You just keep attacking center with Seed Bomb, because Giovanni doesn't attack right away after his Sing move. He first uses that horrific trainer move, and then you have some turns of leeway to keep attacking with Seed Bomb and knock him out before he destroys your party with Earthquake. And there you go.
Next time.
That's the power of teamwork.
As for the second team, I wanted to show a Gardenia-based setup, but you will notice we have good old Champion Leaf sticking out like a sore thumb. Not exactly accessible, but I want to show you how to use off-region pairs. Most players who enjoyed their tenure during 4th anniversary pulled one of the broken anniversary pairs, so these guys are always relevant during extreme battles, because there is a chance that you can make use of them. Now, Gardenia is a little tricky as a striker, because her primary offense is Leaf Storm, which drops a special attack by a couple of stages when used. You can erase that problem by giving her Dauntless as a lucky skill, which prevents special attack drops altogether, but if you cannot afford that, Gardenia has tools in her kit to solve that issue. Specifically, her trainer move reverses stat drops into stat raises, so if you have a -6 special attack, you will turn it into +6 special attack. And her grid also has the Sunny Disposition passive, which prevents stat drops when the weather is sunny. And this is why you want to use Gardenia with the Sunsetters, because you can even afford the Critical Strike 2 as a lucky skill. Cheryl is here to offer some recovery and special attack buffs for Gardenia, but the problem with Bliss is that much like in the main series games, its defense is horrendous. It just gets popped by physical attacks. This is where Champion Leaf ties it all together in a pretty little bow. When Champion Leaf uses Leer, she debuffs the attack of all foes by 1 stage. In conjunction with her Canton Pride Master passive, she turns Cheryl into a viable tank for this stage. As for specifics, Gardenia wants Leaf Storm accuracy +10, Double Down 5, and Charging Sun 3 is on the way to Sunny Disposition. Cheryl really wants this defense +20 tile. She cannot tank well otherwise. I also graded her with some passives to improve with her trainer move, as well as Team Sync Regen. But if you don't care for that too much, then you can also grid Cheryl with Vigilance to spare you the creamy cookies. Leaf is gridless. So, right from the get-go, I am going for a sequence that is a little less intuitive than usual. First of all, you don't want to cast Leafy Sun right away. We want to save that until Tyranitar Sandstorm. Then I am going to avoid using X special attack call with Cheryl. Also, Cheryl is going to get obliterated by this Fierce Facade. That's normal for Blissey, don't worry. But you want to use her train move right away to mend her up. Anyway, the reason I am not using X special attack call is because I want to intentionally drop Gardenia's special attack with Leaf Storm so we can make use of the trainer move that I explained earlier. So I am just going to hold onto her debuffs until she reaches -6 special attack, and then use her trainer move to reverse those stat drops into stat raises. Gardenia's trainer move also has some other fun little benefits, like reversing the Tyranitar's accuracy drops into accuracy raises. I had Cheryl sync first to activate the Team Sync region for some extra party-wide recovery, but if you did not read that or don't care for it, then you probably want Gardenia to sync first for some extra damage. Right around here, I am anticipating Tyranitar Sandstorm, so I have Leaf use a potion on Cheryl to take advantage of her recovery while she can. Leaf can survive Giovanni's Sing move, but it's difficult. Usually she will faint, so we have to make use of her kit while she is around. Note I was using Hyper Voice with Cheryl up to this point. Flamethrower is a little stronger given Leafy's enhancements, but you want to avoid using Flamethrower early on because you could accidentally burn Golem and boost Facade, which is really bad for Cheryl. From this point, there isn't a set way to handle the fight. I prefer taking down Giovanni as soon as possible just to get rid of him, but in doing so, you change Kabutop's and Tyranitar's scripts where they start using stronger attacks. In this case, there isn't a favorable target to leave for last. Tyranitar can use Rock Slide and Kabutops can use Liquidation, both of which are troublesome for the party. So just spam Leaf Storm and hope for the best. At this stage, Sun will also wear off, and Gardenia will start dropping a special attack again, which is the reason I was saving X special attack all. At this stage, Cheryl can refill Gardenia's special attack and keep her topped off. But well, that's all I have to say for this encounter. If you have any questions or strategies, feel free to share them in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, take care, and I hope to see you another time.